Dimuthu commenced the manufacturing business on 1st 4 2016, investing rupees 900,000 from his personal savings. The summary of these transactions carried out during the month of April 2016 is given below. Summary of transactions recorded in cash receipts and payment journals are sales 6,000. Yeah. So sales 6,000. Received from debtors is 2,000. The question has gone down. Received from debtors 2,000. Raw material purchases 1,200. Payment to creditors 800. Advance payment for raw material purchases 300. Wages to machine operators 400. Production supervisors salaries 700. Factory electricity 60. Factory rent 600. Administrative expenses 200. Purchase of machine on 1st 4 2016 is 4,000. Total of the other prime entry books they are given: sales journal 12,000, purchase journal 8,000, sales return journal is 500. Then also they are given only rupees 100,000 worth of raw material has been received on 27 4 2016. Okay. On 27 4 2016 for the raw material purchases, this is not yet recorded in the books of accounts. Rupees 300,000. Okay, rupees 300,000 receivables. Rupees 300,000 receivable from debtors is not recoverable and it is to be written off as bad debts. Factory rent per month is 200,000 and rent has been paid for the first quarter. The electricity bill of rupees 50,000 for the month of April 2016 has been received on 10th 5th 2016. Now you need to know this month ending of this sum is on 30th 4 2016, which is April month end, but they have considered, they have done a calculation a bit different. They are given on May. So you should not get confused when you are doing this sum. The next thing you need to know, the machine has a useful life of 10 years and a residual value of rupees 400,000. The machinery is depreciated on straight line method. At the end of the month, the inventory balances were as follows. Raw material is 300,000, working in progress at production cost 80 and finished goods 100,000. So what are you are being required by the examiner to prepare? The following accounts in the general ledger using T format, month of the April 2016. They have asked you to do sales account, debtors control account, raw material purchase account, creditors control account, and advance payment account. Then they also requested you to prepare manufacturing account for the month of April 2016. Then an income statement for the month of April 2016. Values of following items as at 30th 4 2016: property, plant, equipment, prepaid expense, equity. So all these things have been requested by the examiner. So let's start one by one, guys. It's very straightforward question. It's an easy one, so you don't want to waste much time on this. So it's sales. Sales. How do you prepare? So first you need to put a T account in your sheet. This is my Excel sheet. I'm going to work with you guys. So I want you guys to take writing in your writing book. You need to do this. Then of course it will save my time and yours. Together we can do it. So now I'm going to draw a ledger account. First of all, there are 5 accounts that are requested. So I'm going to draw all 5 accounts in one at a stretch. So it will save our time. So this is first sum. This is second ledger account, third ledger account, fourth ledger account, and fifth ledger account. So let me start with the first one. The first one is all about sales account, right? So I'm going to put the account's name. Even if you can write the names and keep, it's better. So it will save a lot of time. So sales account. Sorry. Sales account. So what do we have? We have the second account. The second account is debtors control account. So I'm going to write that also. So debtors control account. Then we have raw material purchases. And then you have creditors control account. and you have advance payment account. I'm going to start one by one. First is a sales account. Let's start, guys. Moving on to my balances they are given in the sum. So actually what is related to sales, you might see I have a cash sale of 6,000. Then I need to see is there any credit sales I have made actually, because cash sales plus credit sales will give me will give me exactly the sales what I really wanted, the figure. And there's a sales figure, this credit sales journal means credit sales, so 12,000. So I have only these two type of things. There's nothing in additional information related to sales. So I can directly take the sales 12,000 of other primary books, which is sales journal, is credit sales, and this sales which you are seeing here 6,000 is the cash sale. So I'm going to move on to the Excel sheet and write 6,000 as cash and credit sales. You can also say it as debtor, whatever it is, still correct. 12,000. So altogether you have a balance to balance. Okay, so it's 18,000 which you are sending for profit and loss statement. You can say profit and loss or income statement, both are correct in exam. Examiner still gives marks for that. So here you write 18,000 because credit here, debit here, and of course it will become credit in say profit and loss account. Now move on to debtors control account, guys. So how do we do this debtors control account? So you might see what is the actual sales. Now we already found the sales which we have made, and the sales account for debtors was 12,000. So I can directly take that sales here. 12,000. Then I'm going to move on to the area where we can find information. Receipt from debtors 2,000. So I'm going to take this 2,000 because that's the money debtors have paid. So I'll write here 2,000 and say cash because they paid cash. Then also they have, we need to see other information is available or not. So let me move on. Is there any returns, bank payments, something related to outstanding, bad debts? These are things which is related to debtors account. So here if I see there's no raw material, there's raw material purchases there, payment to creditors, advance payment, wages, production supervisors, factory electricity, factored in administrative expense and purchaser, a machine. And whereas you have sales return journal, so sales return journal means it's return inward. Return inward is a part of debtors control account. So I'll write here return inward or sales return, both are same. So return inward, it's 500. So I recorded that also 500. So after recording return inward, do I have any other stuff? Let me have a look on to the informations, other information. 100,000 of raw material has been received, advance payment. 300,000 receivable from debtors is not recoverable and it is written off as bad debt. So you need to know adjustment number 4, we are almost done. So we have taken adjustment number 4, there's no other bad debts on this adjustment. So I will take Roman number 4 as bad debt adjustment because they're saying 300,000 which you cannot cover from the customers, credit customers. So I'll write here 300,000 means 300 bad debt. So now how much I'm going to send to my financial statement, actually the differences. So I'll take the difference first of all. Here I'll write 12,000 and here I'll write 12,000. So the carried forward, carried down or carried forward, both are same. It's actually 2,800 is the difference. So 12,000 minus 2,800 will give me a value of 9,200. So this is debtors control account. We are done with that adjustment also. Now I'm going to move on to raw material purchases account. So let me go one by one without hurrying on it. So raw material purchases account, how does it start? It starts with raw material purchases 1,200. So I'm going to start one by one. So the first purchase they have made in cash. So it's 1,200. We recorded. Then we move on to the next adjustment of the sum. Payment to creditors, they have advance payment, production supervisor, factory, electricity. Then also they have they have one more thing. This is what we say purchase journal. Now as I took for sales, you remember I took sales, credit sales and cash sales. The same way I'm taking for raw material purchases, cash purchases and credit purchases. So here they are not given a different purchase account. That's the reason I'm taking this as purchases. 8,000 I'll consider from creditors. Okay. Then after recording creditors, I just wanted to know, is there any other adjustment related to this sum? It says that only rupees 100,000 worth of raw material has been received on 27/4/2016 for the advance payment of raw material purchases. This is not yet recorded on the books of account. So I just want to check the advance payment. They are saying that you have made advance payment for raw material purchases 300, but you got 100,000 worth of goods for the business. So which means you can record this 100,000 worth of amount under raw material purchase because you received it, though it was an advance. So now I consider it as advance payment because of advance only we have received it. So I'm going to finalize this amount and send it to profit and loss account. See how it's easy, guys, when you all know the double entries. When you practice on it, it's not that hard. Accounting is very easy. So now I have 9,300. I will put it on the other side as well. Then I'm sending it to the carried forward. Sorry, I'm sending it for profit and loss. Or I can say it as, yeah, better we say profit and loss. Okay. So we are sending 9,300. So I'm done with the 1, 2, 3 accounts. Then I'm moving on to the next account, creditors control account. So as you all know, we already took 8,000 here from creditors account, which means this 8,000 is purchases they have made. I can write here 8,000 purchases. Then you might see this 8,000 is already given in this sheet. Whenever you guys do the particular area, you need to take your pen and, just put a click like this. So you know that you are actually, you have written that particular thing in your Excel, I mean in your answer sheet. So now let's move on to the point, the next part. It is creditors control account. Now we need to see, is there any payment they have made to creditors. Here you might see there's no sales, nothing related to sales for creditors. So we will make payments. Actually, they have paid 800. Is there any other stuff related to creditors? And I just want to have a look on the additional information, nothing. So I will consider only the 1,200, 800 is the only amount of payment they have made to creditors. So I will write that 800 as cash they have paid. And the differences is actually the amount which goes to balance carried down, so carried forward. So I'll take carried forward as the 7,200. I'll finalize this sum also. So here we have 8,000. Here we have 8,000. Then we have the next one, the advance payment account. How do you record this advance payment account? Simple. You all remember they made a prepayment on the sum. So prepayment is a current asset actually, because it's a prepayment on asset. So it's a current asset. So you might see here they made a prepayment of how much? 300. So this 300,000 you should show it on the debit side, saying cash. After recording this, you need to know they made a purchases. You remember we recorded purchases. 100,000 was received on the adjustment number 1. So we sent it for purchases from advance payment. So actually the carried down balance, carried forward balance is going to be 200. So I'm going to take the total. That simple is doing the ledger account. So we are done with the ledger accounts. So let's move on to the second adjustment of this question. What did they ask? What is the examiner is expecting from you? Manufacturing account for the month of April. Now you need to know this is for month of April, which means it's only for 1 month they are particularly asking. So you'll be very concerned when you are taking the rates. You should not take for 1 year. If you take for 1 year, it's completely wrong, because the year also starting, the business is also commencing on the 1st of April, and they're asking 30 days summary, not 1 year summary, guys. That's the basic thing you guys need to know. When they give dates in exams, be a bit concerned about the dates. Now let's start from the point we have stopped. Now they're asking manufacturing account. So I have already drew a manufacturing account format here. Let me zoom a bit. So always write the date. What is the date? I mean, what is the year? It is the month of this thing has done. Manufacturer account has been prepared for the month of April 2016. So I'll write that 2016. Now, when you start with manufacturing, as you all already know, you have learned these type of things. You need to have three type of cost altogether, as direct raw material cost, direct labor cost, and direct other expense cost. So when you add direct raw material cost, direct labor cost, and direct other expense cost, all these three will make actually make something called prime cost. So I'm going to find the prime cost first of all. So for that, I'll put a topic direct raw material. It's better always go with the topic and on the flow. Go as per the flow, so you'll be not missing anything. Okay, so direct raw material. We already found it. We didn't have any opening raw material on the sum. Let me check. Do we have any opening raw materials on the sum? Opening raw material. There's no opening raw material, but we found raw material purchases, total raw material purchases. From our raw material purchase account, we can have a look onto that. We found raw material purchase was 9,300. So I can take that directly. 9,300 here, saying purchase of raw materials. Like the same way you have done in income statement, you need to do the manufacturing like cost of sales, this area. Then do we have carriage inward? Then what to say? Purchase, loading, unloading expenses, nothing is there related to here. We didn't find out something like that. Then we have closing. Do we have any closing? Closing, yeah, we have closing raw materials 300. So closing raw materials should be deducted like cost of sales. I'll deduct the closing raw materials. Let me take this side so you'll have a clear picture on what I'm doing. Closing raw materials 300. So I'll deduct it first of all. Okay, so I will get 9,000 here. Now this is raw material cost actually. Now I need to, I can write here, I can show here, or here I can show, both are correct. What are the way? Okay. So I can write here direct, or I can say cost of raw materials. Raw material. Still it's correct. Then we have direct labor. How do you find direct labor? They would have given something related to production. If any expenses is related to production, it is direct labor. Or they might say something related to the machine. They are working with the machine. So now if you see here, they are given already raw material purchases, payment to creditors, wages to machine operators, and supervisor salaries. What people get confused, what students get confused actually, they don't understand the difference between wages to machine operators and production supervisor salary. Production supervisor salary doesn't work on production, they just supervise. Wages to machine operators, they work with machines. So people who are working with machine, they are the people who will be considered as direct labor cost. So I will consider them as direct labor cost, and I'll record here machine operator wages. Informing 400. So after getting 400, this is the total of what do you say, direct wages. I can find there's no direct other expenses. Direct other expenses is related to royalty payments. I didn't find any royalty payments or patent marks, patent right payments, anything here. So I will just skip that area because there's nothing tested. If you really wanted to write that also, you can write direct other expense to show that you have high knowledge in this particular area for the examiner, and keep a dash. And you can write after you at this 3, you get prime cost. So what is the prime cost actually? You got 9,000 plus 400 is 9,400. This is our prime cost. Now you need to add, after adding prime cost, you need to add the manufacturing overheads, or we said as production overheads. So this is what you need to do now. So I'm gonna add the production overheads in a while. So please copy this down with me. Yes. Now, after taking prime cost, guys, see there's something else to do with this. Okay, seriously. Give me a second, guys. So now let's write manufacturing overheads or production overheads. Both are same. In exam, you can use any terms, production overhead or manufacturing overhead. You don't want to write this big topic. Just write whatever you feel comfortable, production overhead or manufacturing overhead. Now let's start one by one, finding out what are the indirect cost of this manufacturing account. Now you might see sales we got, receipt from creditors we got, raw material purchase we got, payment to creditors, wages, raw material purchase, production supervisor salaries. That's 700 will come under indirect cost. So I'll write production supervisor salary. So how much is production supervisor salary? 700. After recording this, then of course we have other indirect expenses to find out. Other indirect expenses are a factory electricity 60. Now there was an adjustment related to factory electricity. I need to be very concerned on these type of things. When you have certain things, if you are doubt, you need to go for the information and read it. I saw something factory electricity somewhere here. The electricity bill of 50,000 for the month of April 2016 has been received. So you should only take 50,000 rather than 60,000 because they have paid 60,000, but you can't pay 60,000. You should pay only 50,000. Maybe you have paid prepayment 10,000 extra. So you should only consider 50,000 under electricity production overhead. So electricity is not 60,000, it's 50,000. So 50,000. After recording this, now I need to record the factory rent. So I'm moving on to factory rent. There was another adjustment related to factory rent. If you see here, it is saying in the question, factory rent, factory rent is about 600,000, but actually the adjustment is saying something different. Factory rent per month is 200,000 and rent has been paid for the first quarter. Now you are doing this sum for one particular month, which means you can't take for 3 months. 4 months of you can't take for one quarter. Actually, they have paid for one quarter for 600,000, but actually you need to take only 1 month. 1 month is 200,000. So 200,000 you will record it here as rent. You can't record 600. It's wrong. So I'll write here rent. Though it is saying factory, don't write factory because manufacturing another term is factory, guys. So they will use manufacturing or factory, both are same. Then we move on next part of the adjustment. After recording the factory rent, do I have any other expenses? Administrative expenses. Administrative expenses is not related to factory, it's related to income statement. Why? Because that is related to office day-to-day transactions. And then do I have any other stuff? I purchased the machine, so of course machine depreciation will be accounted for manufacturing account. So now what is the machine's cost? 400,000, and they are saying that actually the machine has a straight line useful life of 10 years and residual value of 400,000. The machinery is depreciated on straight line with a very easy sum. So I'm going to move on to find my machine workings. If you want, you can also put a working and do with me. So machine depreciation, I'm going to find it out. Right. So how do you find the machine depreciation? 4,000 is the cost of the asset. You have residual life. So I'll deduct it by 400. That's the formula. Cost minus residual life divide by the number of years 10. So when you divide 400 minus 4,000 minus 400 divided by 10, you will get 360. But this is per 360 is depreciation for 1 year. But I need to find for 1 month. Why? Because I'm doing this statement for 1 month. If I'm finding for 1 month, I will take this 360 divided by 12. So I will get 30 per month. So that's the amount I should record as depreciation, 30. Then write depreciation of machine. Easy as that. So we have recorded almost everything related to manufacturing. Do I have any other stuff? I just have a look on to the statement. I think no, everything is perfect. So we have recorded perfectly. So then we need to finalize the manufacturing account now. So I'm going to take this value, this total value to the other side. Nothing is subtracted, only added in manufacturing because to show your total cost. We have a profit to show here. So it's 980 here. I'm going to show 980. So 980 plus 9,400 will give you a value of 10,380. Right. So now I'm not still finished on this sum. I have one more particular thing to do. That is what we say work in progress. Normally, work in progress is something which you are working in progress when you're producing. So you need to add your opening work in progress here. In this sum, they didn't give a opening work in progress. They only gave closing work in progress. Okay, so I'm gonna put this format properly. Then I'm gonna take this side border. Yeah. I'm doing it slowly, guys, because for you to understand it very clearly. If not, I can go very fast also, but many students have complained to go a bit smoother and slow. It's not complaint, it's also a suggestion maybe. So work in progress is 10,380. Now, I mean, the total cost is 10,380. So I need to find my work in progress. They have given work in progress somewhere here. It is 80. You might see here this value. So this 80 I'm going to take into the books of accounts. So I'm going to deduct this 80. Yeah, 80. So if I deduct, I'll get 10,300 as my final balance. We say this as total production So Dimuthu's business, we are going to do the third part, which is income statement. So I need to be very careful. Now I have taken all the information related to manufacturing. Now I need to be so concerned of taking only the information relevant to income statement. Income statement means in our terms, you need to understand it's office expenses, factory expenses all come to manufacturing account. So now let's see what are the office expenses they are given. You all know sales we can take into the income statement. We already found sales. It was 18,000. I can show you the details which we found already. In T account, we found sales. So this is the amount we're going to take under sales account. Sales is 18,000. So I'm going to record sales as 18,000. Then we had sales return as sales return journal. You all remember that we took it to debtors control also. So here they have given sales return. Yeah. Here they have given sales return journal 500. So I'm going to take that 500 under sales return as 500 deduction. So if I take 500 deduction, you will get net sales. So right here net sales 17,500 is my net sales. I'm going to go with cost of sales now. That's the procedure. And there was no purchase. So I'm going to take the purchase. I mean, total cost of production. I can take on the income statement total cost of production as production cost. So I should always bring on the cost of sales. The reason I didn't take cost of sales opening stock, because they have not given opening stock in income statement. I taught you guys finished goods opening stock they will give as opening stock finished good. If they give opening stock finished good, it is a part of cost of sales under income statement. If they give opening stock raw material, it's a part of what do you say, manufacturing account. If they give raw material, if they give opening work in progress, then of course it is also part of cost of sales. You need to understand. Opening work in progress is a part of manufacturing account. So let's move on to production cost, which we found on the manufacturing account. This production cost we already found. This amount I'm going to transfer from this 10,300 towards income statement under cost of sales as 10,300. Here is where examiner is so focused on giving a mark, because you need to transfer this particular total production cost from income statement, from manufacturing account to income statement very specifically, then only you will be able to grab your marks. And after that, I don't have any other stuffs to add or deduct under cost of sales except the closing stock. You see, we have taken everything in the information. So I'm going to take only the closing stock, which is finished good. As I said, when you take for income statement, always you need to take finished goods. So finished good is the income statements part, income statement stocks. So I'll take closing stock, or I can also say it as closing finished goods. Okay. Only when you're doing manufacturing, you should be able to differentiate between the three type of goods. There are three goods, as I said: raw materials, finished good, as well as work in progress. So don't get confused by these terms. So then we have raw materials. Closing finished goods is how much, guys? It's 100. So I'm going to write 100. I'm going to deduct it. So once I deduct this 100, I'm going to get 10,200, right? So when I deduct my cost of sales with net sales, I'll be getting gross profit. So I'm going to write gross profit. How much is my gross profit? 17,500 minus 10,200 will give me 7,300. After that, I'm going to find out my expenses. I think there was no income in the accounts. There was only expenses. So I'm going to find out the expenses, because when I read there was no income, no commission income, no rent income, nothing was there related to income. So I'm going to see my expenses actually from one by one. There was no much expenses. All expenses were related to manufacturing, but there are a few. One is administrative expenses. As I said, we need to take it in the income statement. And second thing is bad debt 300,000, which we incurred on the adjustment number 3, I think. Yeah, adjustment number 2, Roman number 4, we found bad debt 300,000. So these are two type of expenses which we're going to take under expenses. So I will write here administrative expense as 200. I have bad debt as 300. So we have taken all the expenses related to income statement. I got 500 deducted. Then I get a profit. Then I get a profit of 6,800, right? Net profit. 6,800. So I'll write here net profit. So I'm done with my income statement, guys. So let me take in the same format. And zoom out a bit. So you can have a look on my income statement, how I took this. Always remember to write the name and the month, income statement for the April month of April 2016. Right, so then we are done with the income statement, guys. Now let's move on to the next adjustment. Adjustment number 4. So guys, now we're gonna see Roman number 4. What are the requirements the examiner has requested? There are a few things the examiner is requesting on the Roman number 4. Fourth one. Values of the following item as a 30th/4/2016: property, plant and equipment amount, prepaid expenses amount, and equity amount. So you need to find the final balance of that particular month. It's very easy, guys. We already found out property, plant and equipment. So I'm gonna show one by one. PPE as per the way you should write in this way as a 30th/4/2016, right? So PP as a 30th/4/2016, how much is the value? We can take the total machine cost. We already found machine cost was they commenced the business on 1st April. That's the reason we are taking the machine cost 400, and we had depreciation. So we're going to deduct to find the carrying amount. So if I deduct 30 out of 400, I will get a value of 3,970. So this is the actual value which the business should consider in the books of accounts. So 3,970 is the amount. So it's all in thousand which I'm representing. That's the reason I'm just writing 3,970. If you really wanted to show it in not in thousand, you can also write the complete value. After showing the calculation here, you can write 3,970,000. This is also still fine. Okay, 3,970,000. Then after that, they have asked, they are requested to find out the next adjustment. Prepaid expenses. We had a prepaid expense for rent. You all remember? Yeah. Expenses. Let me start. Prepaid. Yeah. Expenses. Rent, we had prepaid expense of So we had a prepaid expense in rent, almost 400,000. I remember we paid. They said that 600,000 they paid in rent, but actually only 200 for that particular month, which means 400 in excess. For electricity, they paid 50. They should consider, but they have paid 60. You see, 50 they should pay, but we considered 60. They have paid 60, though 50 is only for the particular month. So 10,000 under electricity and 400,000 under rent. So altogether we'll get 410,000. But it's better if you can show it in this way. Rent 400 plus what do you have? We had electricity 10. So altogether you will have a balance of 410. So that's all. So then you can write here prepaid expenses as at. Always remember to write in this way: 30th for 2016, and you can write the full total balances. Actually 410,000. This is correct. Then we move on to the last adjustment. They're asking on the last adjustment the value worth of equity. So what is the actual equity? We had a balance when we started the sum. We had the person invested from his personal savings for this manufacturing business 900,000. So 900,000 is the amount he invested. That's the beginning of the equity. So I'm gonna find the total. So equity asset 31st 30th 4th 2016. So equity asset 31st 4th 2016. We have the brought forward balances. He invested. You can write 900, or you can also say capital as at first for 2016. This is all still correct. Then I have, after recording capital, I have profit. We made a profit in income statement 6,800. That profit I will add it. So actually I'll get a value of 900 plus 6,800. I'll get a value of how much, guys? 900 plus 6,800. I'll get a value of 7,700. So that's simple, guys. We have done the particular sum. You got 15 marks, and that's all when it comes to this. So please do not forget to subscribe my channel to learn with me more in future, and please wait for more updates in future.